Hey everybody, let's draw a bunny rabbit. So it's my first time trying one of these demo drawings and we'll see how it goes. Starting with a very, very simple oval shape for the head. Usually when I start drawing, I go nice and light and kind of I call them finding my way lines so I can get the feeling for the shape I'm trying to make. Now I'm establishing where his nose will be, and then these lines are going to help to show me where I want to develop the ears and come into the bridge of his nose, which is going to help give him a little bit more of a three-dimensional look once I get into my shading. Now I'm doing a little V that connects that part of the nose, and I'll start to really get some values on there and make it probably the darkest part. I think the darkest parts are going to be his nose, and then his eyes are going to have some nice darkness to him too. So when I'm starting to develop more shapes, I'm going really lightly, adjusting the way my hand is moving on the paper and the direction I need it to be to draw the shape I want. So here I'm kind of thinking about, well, can I go up this way and then change the direction by getting my hand up and over it and sort of pulling that line down. So most of the time when I'm starting a drawing, I'm going nice and light, getting the shapes dialed in, getting the proportions right. So just have fun with it. Let your hand kind of move around and really start to bring him to life. Now getting more form, I can add where his cute little mouth is going to be, start to establish where the body might develop. Nice and light. If that line needs to change later, I can easily erase it because I'm not pushing down too hard. Now, going back into his face and kind of figuring out where I want his eyes to be. There we go. Two little eyes are shaping up. Now, getting the bottom of his mouth. I kind of move around a lot and I look at the whole image I'm trying to create. And then I kind of bounce back and forth from different areas to start to develop. So with the eyes, I'm going to add a little bit more darkness and then give him a little highlight so it looks like his eyes have that moisture in them and are reflecting light. And then when I want to start punching up areas, I'm going to start pushing just a little bit harder with my pencil to establish that upper lid. Maybe here's another upper lid. And start to bring those eyes to life. I always love drawing the eyes because then it really starts to give them a little bit of character and soul, and it looks like they're starting to look more realistic. So now I'm going to start playing around with adding some value and shading. And it's a bunny, so he's fuzzy, so I can kind of scribble and lightly shade areas and then get darker when I need to, leaving areas. Some of them I'll leave light so it looks like his fur is a little lighter, and some of them I'll get a little bit darker. Now I'm thinking about his ears. How do I want to start to develop his ears a little bit with some value? Thinking about the fact that his ear goes in. I'm going to create an area that's a little bit darker. Yep. And then I'm going to chub up his cheeks a little bit. And again, I haven't erased any of my finding my way lines. I've just sort of built on top of them. And then I sort of blend them in when I do my shading. Oh, here comes his body. Start to think about where do I want it to end? How are his little feet going to look? Get his back foot in there, front foot. Got to think about his little tail. So I'm going real light. My pencil's always moving around. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like there, I was thinking he maybe needed to be a little fatter, so I just pulled that line out a little bit more. And it's really just about keeping your hand loose and light and moving, and then when you start to really like where the shape's going and how it's looking, you can push a little bit harder with your pencil and then start to really develop some of the parts of the drawing. And then the details are really fun to start to add at this point. I thought it'd be nice for him to have a little scarf. We just read a lot of Peter Rabbit over the weekend, and so I was thinking about all those really great ways that Beatrix Potter drew all those different bunnies with clothes on and the characters and how they all look a little bit different and have personality. So really it's just about having a lot of fun, letting yourself explore. Sometimes when I do these lines, I think about that contour of something. If it's round, I'll keep the line direction going in the way that it might actually be rounding off. So that gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. If I keep my lines going in different directions and really switch it up a little bit. And again, nice and light and loose and almost like scribbling sometimes to get some of that stuff in. Really start to push harder when I want that line to pop out and get darker. I hope that you have good luck with this. It's basically breaking things down into shapes sometimes and then just building it like magic. You sort of start to build it off those initial lines and shapes that you're using. So for this week, it's a bunny. Next week, I don't know, I'm feeling like dragons might be in the mix. So stay tuned for all of this. Enjoy how he winds up coming to life here. I'm going to keep developing some value. Get back into his head. I think his head needs a little bit more like development. So I'm thinking about those lines again. Where do I want to pop out those darks and lights to give it a little bit more dimension? It's all about illusion, that illusion of form and that illusion of creating a three-dimensional, realistic-looking object. He's not super realistic looking, but he's got that sort of depth to him. So he's not just a flat cartoon type drawing, though those are fun too. So maybe I'll pull out some tricks on how to do just cartoon drawings. But shading really adds a nice level of depth to whatever it is you're drawing. Oh, I love messing with his eyes. Sort of giving him a little bit of shadow under there. Sometimes when I'm at this point, I'll squint at it and see, well, where is it really dark and where is it way too light? Like what's jumping out and what needs to be pushed back a little bit. Just let yourself have fun, scribbling, making things smooth. You notice I haven't really smudged anything with my finger. I'm just developing those values by going over and over and over again, real nice and light. I'm trying to think of any other good tips for you. Really, it's just have fun with it. Like, let yourself play, let yourself experiment. If it doesn't go well the first time, just do it again. Sketching and drawing, there's a thing that my daughter keeps saying. She's like, the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the more you do it. So it's really just trying and practicing. There's tons of demo videos out there on how to draw stuff, and right now it's been great. There's all kinds of great little clips on how to draw just about anything you want to draw. I just thought it would be fun for you to see me doing some doodling. And on Google Class, I'm going to put up a little form where you could suggest or vote on what it is you want to see me try to draw each week. I'm excited for that. I really think dragons probably next week, but I love drawing dragons and monsters, and I just love drawing all kinds of stuff. So really just have fun with it. Keep playing. I'm wrapping it up now. We're just going to let it play out. So, hippity hoppity hip hop. Have fun. I hope you have a great week making some art, and I will anxiously be awaiting what it is you get into this week. Thanks so much. Bye.